Grandpa?
Hey, baby.
Hi, were you sleeping?
No, every closed eye is not sleeping and every open eye is not seeing.
We are talking Cosby Show episode 6 and episode 7. Episode 6 is called Breaking with Tradition, and basically this is where we get introduced to Cliff's father, and they also bring up that they have a 5th kid, Sandra, who is away at college at Princeton, because you know, if you watch my video of the pilot, they mentioned they only had 4 kids, and this is the episode where they changed that. They're like, no, we have 5. And basically the goal of this episode is they bring up Hillman, which is a HBCU that Claire, Cliff, and Cliff's dad went to, and it's basically a HBCU that was made up for the Cosby Show, and later on becomes where Denise goes in Different World, and where Different World takes place at Hillman College. Cliff's father comes because Denise is applying to colleges, and he's like, yo, what about Hillman? Because Sandra didn't go, and I really want one of the kids to go to Hillman. And then episode 7 is called One More Time. Basically, Claire has baby fever because she's babysitting for this lady that recently had a baby. She's like, I want another kid. And so the episode is basically her realizing at the end, like, okay, no, I don't want another kid. I will just wait for grandkids. Episode 6, I enjoyed, like, my big thing about Cosby Show is it's so relatable to how I grew up. And episode 6 is another example because in my family, most of my family members went to Prairie View A&M University in Prairie View, Texas. I broke the mold. I did not go there. I went to another HBCU, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. And so I remember growing up, it was like PV, PV, PV. And that was what it was like ingrained. And I was like, no, that's not right. So I ended up going to another HBCU. And I honestly like how in this episode, they were like pushing the HBCU because personally for me, I find it is one of the best things I got to experience because if you don't know, HBCU is a historical black college or university, and it's the one of the few chances, unless you like grew up in a predominantly black area, but it's one of the few opportunities that you are not a minority, like you get to be a majority. And honestly, that is like the best feeling. I have so like it was just such a great experience getting to experience the HBCU, and so I really like that. And I just like how Cliff's dad and Cliff were so similar too, like, and they were just funny. And then you kind of had the dynamic in the episode between Cliff and Theo because Theo basically was supposed to pay his dad some money and he forgot, and so Cliff's like, well, you're going to be doing chores to give me, as a result of you not paying me back your money. So that you kind of see the Cliff and Theo dynamic, and that's like typical father-son dynamic that you see kind of going on. Like you saw that, and then you saw Cliff and his father. So I just really enjoyed that episode. You kind of like learn a little bit more about Hillman and the legacy, and then it also brought up so much like black history too, like the Pullman porters, which I done something about that a while ago, which is like a big black history thing, so they kind of talked about that. So there's just so much history in this one. Then episode 7, I just thought was a entertaining one because you got baby fever, and then the kids are like, oh no, we don't want another kid, and Claire's just like, oh, but it's so cute, and she gets so happy that diapers are like I guess back in the day they were using cloth diapers when they had the kids, but now they have like the diapers we see nowadays where you have the little tabs, and Claire's like, you could peek and make sure there's no mess and close it back up, and she was so excited about that. And it's just crazy like how far we've come in just diapers, which I guess Cosby Show was like, I think in the either 70s or 80s when it first came out, and to now, like, what? And I do like, we also get introduced to Claire's mom in this episode, and Claire's mom is like, just wait till grandkids, because kids will come back. You do not want to be old and have your kids coming back. And so she's like the voice of reason, and then that kind of gets Claire to realize, like, okay, I don't need another baby. And so it was just kind of an entertaining episode. You got introduced to different characters, and I just really like this rewatch. I say that every video, but I'm just in bliss doing this rewatch.
This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noel.